Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 9 of Unmatched. Um, there's obviously, as usual, a lot to get to, a lot of soccer, but we're going to start with some ball because some of the playoff matchups are starting to get more concrete. Some of the playing matchups are already starting to get concrete. Mavs and Clippers again, first round, 4 and 5 seed. Clippers hold the fourth seed, Mavs hold the fifth seed. I don't think either team wanted to see each other in
Again.
the first round again. Like I think both teams struggle to guard each other, so it'll be a fun match regardless. I'm tending to lean towards the Clippers just because I think they just have a better roster. And everyone's healthy. Russell Westbrook's back,
Mhm.
Kawhi, PG, all these guys, and to me, they have the best coaching game, which is Ty Lue. So Um, obviously Kyrie and Luka Doncic are Batman and Robin or Batman and Batman, whatever you want to call them.
Mhm.
But who's that third guy that's going to come along for the party in that series, right? That's the biggest question.
So is it? Is this three in last 5 years?
Three in the last
Something
four,
like that?
no? Something like that?
Uh, it might be five.
Yeah, five?
Bubble year,
Yeah.
then 2021, and then they haven't played each other since then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so 3 and 5. Dude, that's insane. And Clippers actually, like, we're gonna get into the whole like who makes it to the finals, whatever. At like when playoffs start.
So I got
Uh,
eaten. I'm just so hungry, by the way.
all good.
I'm so hungry.
But yeah, we'll get into more of like what our picks look like when
Mhm.
playoff starts. But like they have
Mhm.
the toughest road if they win. I saw if they win, depending on who wins in each
Yeah.
picture. But it's basically they play the Mavs, and then I think second round would be the Nuggets, and then third round would be the Wolves, and then I mean let's say whoever you choose out from the East.
Yeah.
Favorites are Celtics right now, and then you play Celtics in the finals. Like that is the most insane road to the finals that I've seen in a long time, or for one team at
Yeah.
least.
And the Celtics are lucky that Julius Randle's injured. They're so lucky
Ah.
because if he was healthy,
Ah.
honestly, I would have leaned towards taking the Knicks in that series.
You said that last year. Like
I
when the
don't think they
playoff.
played last year.
No, they didn't. But you said if they met up, you were gonna take the Knicks.
Yeah, yeah, I would have. I would have. They ran into Miami, and Miami beat them. Unfortunately, Jalen Benson did his thing. Julius Randle did not show up,
But he's
but
always never showed up in the play. Like he's always had his playoff struggles. As
yes, but the team
yeah, it's much better now.
is
Like
better. Is better constructed where he doesn't need to.
you have OG now, right? Like so, it takes some pressure off one of the
Yeah,
big guys.
Yeah.
exactly. So all NBA. Let's just do first team for now. We'll give our full all NBA teams once the season is officially over,
Hmm.
but it's positionless.
Yeah. Oh,
So who do you
that's
get?
I don't
Yes.
like
So
position.
this
I don't like that.
I like it because listen, back in the day, when you had to put a center, and the centers now are good, granted,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
in the mid 2010s,
it was not good.
listen, I love DeAndre Jordan, but he's not a first All
Yeah.
NBA caliber center. Like he had some great seasons, but he was
Yeah,
really just dominating one side of the court, right? Like
yeah,
that's my issue. So I don't really have a problem with the All NBA teams. And granted, like it's deserved, right? Like
yeah.
Jokic is gonna be in there, in
Hmm.
my opinion. I would
Yeah,
say
for sure.
Jokic, Shea,
Luca.
Anthony Edwards, Luca, and
You think
maybe
you think Edwards gets in there?
I think he has to be in there. And then maybe Jason Tatum
Yeah, I
or
feel like
Giannis.
Tatum's. Yeah. Uh,
After that, it's kind of up in the air. But definitely, I definitely think Anthony Edwards deserves to be in the
I
conversation.
have the exact same four as you. I'm still thinking of the fifth.
yeah,
I kind of want to put Jalen Brunson.
yeah.
Oh, I'm
It's
trying to think.
there's like streaks on the seat. Like we've been based it off like the first 2 months. I would have been like Halliburton should have been in there for sure. and then
Yeah.
ever since he got
No,
back
Yeah.
from
no.
an injury, he's just not been
No.
the same dude.
He'll be like maybe third or
Yeah,
second,
because
maybe.
his
Yeah.
play really like tailed off since he came back. So like, I don't know.
If Joel Embiid played more, he would have been in there as well.
Oh yeah, but he only played what
Yeah.
35 games or like he's
Trust me,
nowhere
I know I
close
had
to
him in
the
my fantasy team.
65.
Yeah, no, he was out for like pretty much the whole second half of the season.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure where it's gonna go, but
I think
Yeah.
that's pretty accurate. Like the only fifth toss up you have Jalen, you
but
have
I feel like Jalen deserves it more than Jason Tatum.
It's hard to say that when the guy's gonna have
well,
the best record in the best record
yeah,
in the
that's the
NBA by
thing.
like
Yeah, but the
10
team is
games.
also crazy though.
Yeah, absolutely. But like you never see like a number one seed like not have a guy in there, right?
I mean, the Hawks did back in 2016,
That's not the same thing.
and they won like 60 games.
Yeah,
I think they went 60 and 22 or something like that, or 62 and 20.
yeah, but like that's not. It was Al Horford was their best guy next to like um, Millsap and Corver and shit. Like I don't know. It wasn't the same like talent that the Celtics have right now.
Wemby should be in it.
Okay.
If they weren't last place, I'll be honest, you definitely should have. I mean,
Why not having him in consideration for 13?
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, I would absolutely. I'm just saying in
Because I
terms of
don't think
first
you can
team.
definitively say there's 14 guys, sorry, 15 guys, because
Better.
all NBA team is three, like five teams of three. Sorry,
Yeah.
3 teams of 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's no way you can tell me there's been 15 players better than Wemby this year. No way.
No. Like I take like
Sabonis?
yeah, like Gobert will like makes a third team every now and again. It's like, but he's been better. Even though Gobert is gonna probably win Defensive Player of the Year, like he's putting up 20 points a game while also being a top 3 defender in the league, putting up like 4 blocks a game. Like it's, I don't know. I would definitely
Gobert
put
does
him in
not
there.
deserve Defensive Player of the Year over
No,
no,
but he's gonna win it. I
yeah,
feel
it's
like
because of
I'm
this
pretty sure.
team.
yeah.
I feel like he's Vegas's favorite again. Just like see the Jokic odds. He's minus 4,000 to win MVP.
That's hilarious.
Which is crazy to see that when Luka's putting up 35 a game.
I mean, Shea should win it, but
no comment.
He kind of fell out of that, like the race a little. I don't know why. It's not like he's missed a lot of time. He's not really being talked about anymore as like a front runner.
for me, it's all about expectation, and no one thought they were going to be a top 3 seed in the West.
No.
Just and the roster construction you would say that as well. Like I didn't look at the roster at the beginning of the year and say, "Wow, this team's going to be a top 3 team in the East in the West." I thought maybe they'd be a play-in, maybe like a 7-8, maybe. They're a top 3 seed. Like just off of that, me alone, he has to be MVP because the Nuggets still have a good team. No one's surprised that the Nuggets are doing what they're doing and that Jokic is doing what he's doing. No, that doesn't surprise anyone. And the same thing, if anything, people are a little bit still underwhelmed in terms of team success with Luka, not individual.
Yeah.
We know what he does individually, but yeah, this is probably going to be one of the highest seeds he's had in his career, right? I believe like 4th or 5th is like the highest he's ever been. He's never been a top 3 seed. So and Jason Tatum's personal individual stats haven't
Not good enough.
warranted it. Yes, exactly.
He's averaging like 27 and 5 and 5 or something like the other guys' numbers are just blowing his out of the water. But it's also
if he was averaging like 32. Yeah, 100%. He probably would win MVP.
But he can average 32 with the team that's constructed around him right now. Like everyone gets their bucket. Like Brown's gonna get his 25. Porzingis is gonna get his 22 or whatever, and then White and Holiday are gonna get their 13 to 14 rate. Like it's just hard to get 5 guys and to only one of them to average 30, and everyone else still get their buckets type thing.
Yeah, I hear that. No, so it's going to be exciting. I definitely think there's going to be for most of the time when the NBA comes out with their All NBA teams, there's some semblance of controversy.
Yeah.
I definitely think we'll see that. Tyrese Maxey's a guy that's in the conversation that can make All NBA team as well, right? So,
Yeah, true.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen. What about, let's say, sixth man of the year or defensive player of the year? Do you guys have anyone that stands out for you?
I haven't even looked at six man. I'll
Me
be quite
either.
honest with you. Defensive, I'm personally on the side of Wemby, but I also think it's going to go to Gobert, and I think those are the only two names that are up there.
It's them two and AD, I think, because AD's been healthy pretty much.
AD's been big. AD might also make an All NBA team, by the way.
Yeah, probably. Six man. I'll be honest, I don't
does
even
LeBron
know.
make it though? Does LeBron make it? I don't think he should make it.
I don't know. He's averaging and shit. Like, he's still averaging what, 27, 7 and 7.
I gotta look at the numbers of other players. I gotta look at them.
Yeah, maybe third.
Off the top of my head, he doesn't. Off the top of my head, but I need to, like I said, I need to see other players.
Yeah, I definitely think he'll make the third team. I don't think there's also going to be a voters bias where you can't leave LeBron off your ballot type thing.
Yeah.
So
that's why I think he gets it on third.
Yeah, I think no matter what, he'll make at least the third team.
Yeah. Europa League. Wow. Okay. Roma, Milan. We got robbed. Whatever. It is what it is. We lose 1-0 against Roma at home. Even though Lukaku was offside.
Dude, that was fucking horrible.
Yeah. But we won't talk about how bad the officiating was. It was awful.
It was bad for both sides of the field, though.
It was
Tammy Abraham handball, but we can't even get a pen off of that.
That was close.
I don't know. That was a tough
call. It was a toss up, and let's be honest, he missed a lot worse handballs before in the game.
Is that Milan is going into the Stadio Olimpico, and we beat in Roma 3-1. Rafael Leao is going to get a goal, 2 goals. Book it. You heard it here first.
Chelik
I watched
the game. Pocket last game. So
who?
Chelik put him in his back pocket.
No, absolutely not. Anyways, I watched the game. I'll be honest with you. Officiating aside, I think Roma actually did deserve the win. I found they were the more composed team. They were the better structured team. I think Milan has more of a spark to them on the offense. I'm not saying Roma didn't have this, but like Milan, you can see spurts of them being way more dangerous. It just seemed like they were lost. Like they went out there and just said, play free, like just go play soccer. That's what it looked like. They were.
That's what Pioli does.
It's horrible. Like they're not. It doesn't look like a team. It kind of just looks like they went to the park and it's just a bunch of talented players. Like you know what I mean?
I think in the first half, Milan was very shocked of how Roma came out because it looked like the first 20 minutes or so, like there was chances after chances that Roma were creating, and Milan had no clue how to defend it. They slowly.
This was also. Sorry to cut you off. This is also our first glimpse at a De Rossi-led Roma team, right? Like the 2 times that we played you this season was with Mourinho, and we won both of those games. And I think Milan kind of got accustomed to that, even though they shouldn't have been, because you've seen how much has changed since De Rossi took over. But now that they have that, now that they got punched in the face in the first leg, they got no excuses. I don't care where the game is played. They have no excuses.
The whole game.
He used that spark. The last 10 minutes of the game, that chance he created where Giroud missed just shot it over the net was stunning. He walked around 3 defenders and just gave it to Giroud on a silver platter, and he fucked it up. But like that was the place to tie.
It's kind of ridiculous because the last against Lecce, I believe we won 3-1 over the weekend. It was Giroud at the top striker, Leao on the left, Pulisic as a cam, and then Chukwueze on the right.
I like that.
I did too.
Why?
I was
Pioli didn't do that again?
Yeah, I was scared you guys were going to start that lineup on yesterday, and I was so like Loftus-Cheek's been good this season, but Pulisic in the middle is more terrifying than Loftus-Cheek is,
Well,
just especially
I also
because
don't think
Chikweze's pace and dribbling ability on the right hand side is.
If we don't come with that lineup on next Thursday,
Yeah,
we're not a serious team. We're not a
But-
serious team.
Loftus-Cheek's not a cam anyways.
but that's how they play him, right? Because
Like you could still play him just playing behind. I think he's just a bad coach overall, and like he went into the second half literally no changes, and he like you could watch the game. They were beating Roma on pace.
Yeah,
and he was not putting on pace, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
the only side
I'm not gonna lie. If we were us three, if we were managing Milan, I think we would do a better job than Pioli. To be quite honest with you.
I also
think
think
we would-
missing Tomori is huge.
Yeah.
Like he's the rock in the back that like allows Hernandez to be basically a second winger.
I don't think Mancini scores that goal if Tomori's there, because
Absolutely.
Mancini was left alone on that corner. Like I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's that center back that allows the wing backs to like have some faith and push forward. Without
Yeah.
that, they're kind of they're too scared to move up. So
That's a
I
good
think
point.
like they're missing good pieces, and I think it was just poor coaching.
But it's still like missing Tomori isn't enough to you look at good teams like throughout the span of time in soccer. Like there's guys that miss key players all the time and they still
Oh yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
there shouldn't be any excuse to at least not get a goal. Like I don't care if you lose, like at least score on Roma. You know what I mean? Like you're talented enough, you have enough offensive prowess, even though it used to be just give Leon, and it still is to some extent, give Leon the ball and hope for the best. That's kind of what goes on, or Theo Hernandez. You should still, be able to do something with that. But like I said, no excuses now going into that second leg.
No.
And
None.
I really think that Ussie did a great job playing El Shaarawy more as like on the right side, helping to defend more, because he really helped neutralize Theo Hernandez. Like everyone was talking about yesterday was that putting El Shaarawy on the opposite side that he's normally playing, so that he can, because he has not only a bit more pace, but then more stamina compared to Dybala, and you really don't want Dybala defending whatsoever. Like you don't want him wasting energy coming back at all. You just want to leave him up top and let him do his thing. And I feel like that was a great move that Ussie did. And like he said in the press conference or after the game that he really watched the Milan derbies and picked out the parts that Inter did well against Milan and tried to exploit it, which I feel like is another reason why Pioli did a bad thing of not knowing his weaknesses already. That if you're not coaching the weaknesses that are already out there, what the fuck are you doing?
Dude, he just taught.
We lost 5 derbies in a row.
Yeah, so
like he's obviously not doing something
if Inter's
right.
doing something right and Milan's not doing anything to change it, might as well just do that. And
this is why if he is still the manager next season, I will have a conniption.
Absolutely. I think a lot of starters, he just sits on the bench and doesn't play them, and I was like,
exactly.
If you go in with the exact same lineup, you deserve to lose. But I do think Milan still comes out on top if the right changes are made.
Listen, you know what? You know what's gonna happen? You know who else got a 1-0 win in their first leg? Lazio. And look what happened in the second leg. Against Bayern.
Don't compare to Lazio.
Hey, both Rome teams. Both Roman teams.
That's the only similarity.
All I know is we about to do what Bayern did to Lazio in the second game to you guys. That's all I know. Oh my gosh.
Bless you.
They don't have the same fan base at home that we do.
Yeah, okay. Anyways,
we should get on the other Europa Leagues because there is some shockers out there. Wait, let's leave them for last. The other two will go a little bit quicker. 2-1 Benfica. I think we all said it was going to be. So we all edged with Benfica just because of experience. 2-0 Bayer Leverkusen, which for the most part was a little close. It was 2-0 only after the 75th minute, right? They still deserved to win. And it was expected. It just took a little longer than anticipated. Anything else to say about?
They like to leave it a little bit late, which is something I think everyone's coming accustomed to Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah.
With that team and how they're coached and how well they've been playing, they scored their first goal in the 65th minute or something like that. Like after pretty much
later.
Was it later than that? I know they scored the second goal in the 92nd minute, but to leave it late again, it just seems like something that's accustomed to them.
83rd.
Exactly. So it's I feel like better teams than West Ham can exploit if they lack.
If they even play a better team, like Liverpool looks like they're about to get bounced out.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Milan,
We're segueing. What the fuck?
that was, you know what? At first I was like, oh, the game must be a home game for Atalanta.
Anfield.
And,
No.
and then I turn on the game and I'm like, this shit's at Anfield? I
Yeah.
said, what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah.
Maka's making a case for getting called up to the Euro, 100%.
I think he for sure needs to be called up. Starting, I don't know yet, just for the fact that Retegui has been so good starting for Italy. Like maybe like with Genoa, he's not putting up like great numbers, but he has what
And just
four?
Genoa, but
Yeah, but he also has what 4 goals in 5 games for the national team. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
you can't like talk about like the production he's putting up with the team that's playing around him. So like unless like
yeah.
Skamaka goes on like an insane run, and if he stays healthy, because he can't stay healthy regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like he's
He's
definitely
dangerous to have in the lineup.
and he's a
I
great
think he's
target
great
man.
off the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like his second goal against Liverpool, he didn't overthink it. It was a perfect finish. He didn't think about putting too much power on the volley. He just placed it in the bottom corner. Like it was a great finish for like a clinical striker.
Yeah. No, I was shocked. I'm really I can't believe, like, we were kind of like scared for Atalanta when we were talking about this
Dude,
game.
we thought it was like
Maybe
it was like a 9-1 Bayern versus
yeah,
Barca. Like
really and
Yeah.
truly, because it seemed like Liverpool was starting to get healthy again.
Yeah.
Like Trent Alexander and all these guys are coming back into the lineup. Like that's what it kind of seemed like. The stars were aligning,
And
not
then they
only for
didn't
the
start
Europa League,
anyone.
yeah,
And
for
then they
anyone.
started the entire bench, and then they subbed everyone in at halftime and lost by a bigger goal differential.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's the thing of that's what happens when you just toss in forwards. You take it off mids, right? Like you took off Endo and he tossed in what's his name that just came off injury, Jota. Like you have no mids, so it's expected to have like a counter goal. But dude, I'm shocked. And also, there's one change I don't understand. And look, I think this year Nunez is fantastic, and I think he still misses a lot. But the thing is,
If he was clinical, he'd have like 40 goals.
Yeah.
But the good to take out of that, he's always in that position. He's always in a position to score, and then they keep on Gakpo and they take off Nunez, and I was like, why?
Yeah.
He was the only one generating chances. And then this was when it was 1-2-0. You know what I mean? You steal a goal, you go down by 1, go down by 2. The next game, it's not as bad. But the fact that you're going away and you're down by 3, they need another miracle.
They gotta rush everyone this weekend so they can start their full lineup.
They're in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Like they need that win because now they drew against United and now need to fight without, like, I mean, they would have had to fought regardless, but they would at least had 2 points ahead, right? Now they're lost that gap and lost Europa. Like they might go home with nothing. Yeah. Well, I mean, they won
Carabao.
What was it? Carabao and Palace. But like, you know what I mean? They're gonna go home pretty much nothing if that's the case.
Yeah. No, it's it's not looking good for them at all. It's really not.
I think they were a little bit conflicted. Like, what do they want to go for? Yeah, because like Europa is obviously not the Champions League, and like I feel like for Liverpool, winning the league is more important to them than winning a European trophy.
Europa. Yeah.
So it's like
when you're a top team like that, you should be contending for both, and like you should like.
Absolutely. But also, what is it to be conflicted about Klopp? It's your last year.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I would be running dudes into the ground. Like,
I think they already ran into the ground. I think that's the problem. Everyone's already hurt.
Look, I understand if it's one thing. Yeah. I understand if it's one thing if it's your first title in a while, or if let's say you're in Champions League and you're in third fighting, whatever. But when you're a top team, your job is to win. It's not to choose what to win, right? Yeah. So like, there should be no confliction. Like you should have some teams have more depth than ours, but they have depth up front. Like they should have went with Anfield with their starters. To, you know what I mean? To maybe rest in the long run. I could be wrong. I don't know.
That's what I saw someone say. I forget what analyst said. He's like, I understand you're trying to rest and everything, but you should put the game away early. Like if you wanted to start your entire starting lineup against Atalanta game 1, you could have beat them 3-0 or whatever it was, and then you can maybe take it a little bit back and rest some guys. Like, don't do it the opposite way around, where it's like, I'm gonna rest guys for leg 1 and then play everyone in leg 2. You don't even know if you're gonna be in it leg 2, right? Like, so
you're at home, like you're risking, which would happen, lost at home, and now have to make it up away. That's already a huge margin.
And
I don't know. Odd decision.
Also, it's like it's not like they don't have depth to contend, right? Like you have Nunez, you have Diaz, you have Cody Gakpo, you have Jota, you have Salah. Like you have at least your forwards are stacked. Harvey Elliott, Szoboszlai, I apologize if I botched his name. Endo, McAllister, like they have bodies. Maybe on the back line, not so much. Gravenberch, like on the back line, they don't have a great amount of depth, but that mid and forwards, it should be enough to get the job done.
But they started I say that on defense, but they started Konate and they started Van Dijk, right? That's their 2 best center backs. Obviously,
but they didn't start Robertson.
Yeah, I mean,
but you shouldn't it shouldn't. Robertson not starting shouldn't be a big deal.
No, but what I'm saying is like the depth. Yeah, but the depth's there. Like they in look, were they 100% healthy? I'm not sure. Right? Yeah, the only ones they were missing were Trent and Allison in terms of complete missing. Whether Robertson's at maybe 60, 70, 80% is a different story. But they were there. They had the players. And also, why wait 2-0 down to do this?
Arsenal's competing in Champions League and they're in the same predicament, but just in a higher competition in Europe. And they're
Man City, right? At least Man City has the double. Man City basically has 2 starting 11s, so they're luckier in that sense, where they can rest guys during.
That's what money talks. Money talks.
Money wins.
Isn't that right? Probably be. Wait till my team gets some oil money. Wait.
Yeah, first purchase, new coach.
What? Yo, I've read reports that's Maldini's plan. He's trying to get a Saudi project, and then make this. Let the Saudi guys buy
board and everything. No.
Yeah, he left because of everything going on.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So he's trying to get some of the Saudi dudes to buy Milan, and then, anyways, fingers crossed.
But I also
shall see.
I feel like this is also added to the mystique of Gasperini being an underrated coach, because this guy just competes in everything, and he at the height. Like, remember when he went to the Champions League semifinal and was 5 minutes away from going to the final against PSG? Yeah. They lost. They were out of subs. They were down to 10 men because of an injury, and PSG came back. But if they didn't get hurt, they were going to the Champions League final, right? Like,
that's crazy.
I feel like he doesn't get talked about as one of the best coaches in Europe because of his past days with Inter.
You know, Italian coaches don't get boosted up regardless.
But he's not a typical Italian coach. He's like the complete style.
Yeah, but is it because he's
supposed to be?
It's. I think. Do you think it's a mix of him overachieving with what he has, which I think it is
overachieving? But this is his 3rd iteration of Atalanta, right? The original Atalanta that he went to the finals with was Ilicic, Papu Gomez, Zapata. Those are all gone now, right?
Team.
Yeah, but like this team now is like a bunch of new guys, right? You got Lookman, you got De Catalar, Scamacca, Koop Myers, Darun, Scalvini, and like. He just knows how to replace this squad and still play the style of play he wants to play.
And also, you see, like for example, like look at a Mikel Arteta. Bro hasn't won jack shit besides an FA Cup. Like he ain't won no Prem. This is his first. Like we'll see if they even will get to Champions League in a second, but they could easily get back bounced out next round. Like, and he gets praised to high heavens, right? Like I seen a graphic of him getting praised and Xavi getting scorned. Like Xavi won a league.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't want. Yeah.
I don't get the hate on Xavi at all.
How you doing what he's doing with Atalanta, going to a semifinal with Atalanta, it's more impressive than anything Arteta has done at Arsenal. I understand that they haven't been great in the last half decade, but up until now, but he still hasn't won anything, right? And I don't get it twisted. I think he's a good manager. I'm not trying to diss him. I'm just saying that when it comes to boost, how they boost managers, come on, it's crazy.
Has he won anything with Atalanta? I personally don't know.
No, but again, that's Atalanta. Like they're
I know, but like I personally not saying he needs to win something for him to get the recognition, but I think he would get more at least if he was hot, did better domestically, and if he was like, you know what I mean? I understand. No, I'm not. Whatever he did should not be undermined, right? I think he's a way better coach than anyone who doesn't know really looks at him at. But I'm saying if you to get your name there, I find he needs to start contending in terms of domestically, like
he did. He finished
for top, for second, third.
He
you know what I
finished
mean?
second or third. Was it? I mean, when
Consistently, like that's the
always
thing.
top
Like,
5. He's been top 5
okay,
since he's taken over, right?
yeah, but
they're always
it's kind of like the Arsenal. Every year you look at the table and they're fourth. You know what I mean? It's kind of like whenever you look at the table, Arsenal is fourth.
But then again,
Doesn't
Oh,
mean
that's not until recently.
but
yeah, I'm
also
saying in the past before
last
Arteta's
season.
era.
But I'm saying like Arsenal, they're expected to be top 4 every season. They're expected to play,
And they got money.
exactly. Atalanta's got what they were mid-table team before like he took over. Like that's what their
Okay.
history was, right? And like he's taken them to be competitive in Europe every season.
Okay.
Okay, we got let's transition to Champions League. Atletico Madrid versus Dortmund. Let's do that first.
That was a good game.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that's more goals than I expected. I thought it was gonna be a 1-0 game.
And Dortmund was unlucky to hit the bar at the end.
Yeah, very unlucky.
I thought it was going to be a defensive game, and it turned out to be one team playing defense and the other team just attacking the entire time. And Atletico just went for their throat for pretty much the first like 60 minutes. They just
they look good, man.
Yeah,
like,
they could have scored a couple more goals.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think because they're not doing the excuse me, they're not doing the greatest in La Liga.
No.
They were okay. They were solid in the group stage. They didn't knock my socks off. But they kind of haven't been Atletico in recent years, right? Like they've kind of been a little bit underwhelming.
Yeah.
And they're just like locked in right now, right? Like they're showing that Atletico Madrid DNA that got them to 2 Champions League finals like almost a decade ago. Actually, yeah, it was a decade ago in one of the instances. And Griezmann has,
it's kind of like when Griezmann went back, he's turned everything back around for them. Like he's
like I thought he was gonna fall off a cliff after Barca. I thought he was toast, and he revitalized his career. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons of Griezmann has been probably some of the best he's ever played, and it's like not a same type of role. Like he's more of like a center forward now. I mean, he's always kind of like that, but he was a bit of a winger early on and shit like that. But he's more of a creator now, and it's like he's been just like you can see that era of Barca being stupid. Like how they bought all that talent and weren't able to do anything with it. It was just
zilch.
Yeah. So, but
with your guy at the helm,
that's
still very close. I mean, it's 2-1, and you're going to Dortmund.
Yeah, which is a tough.
Yeah, exactly. But I would still give the advantage to Atletico. And
I just to make the finals.
They could, but my concern is if they play Barca has like their number, like they slapped them 3-0 last time they played, right? And I don't want to see Barca in no semifinal. They're not good. They're just not good. Like I know they won 3-2. Let's talk about Barca and PSG right now. Mbappe got clamped up. Okay.
Yeah.
Jules Koundé and Araujo. I apologize. Because last time I said y'all ain't had nothing. And I was wrong. Yeah, they put Mbappe in their pocket.
And that kid played amazing against Mbappe too. The 17-year-old played very well against Mbappe too.
Yeah. What's his name again? Kubari?
Yeah,
I believe his name.
I know it's such a C.
But he played well. I'm not gonna give him all the credit because I think he was more Koundé and Araujo, but he definitely held his own.
I saw like the one-on-one matchup numbers, and
he looked good.
Yeah, so.
And I believe the game was in Barca, if I recall correctly. This game.
I don't think so.
Was it?
No, it was in Parc des Princes.
Yeah, it was in France. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know, man, but Barcelona and youngsters, they just get absolute studs.
It's annoying. It's annoying.
They stopped doing it and they went to shit. They finally start doing it again, and look what's happening, right? Everything's working. Everything's turning back to how La Masia Barcelona should be. Like no, they're not Madrid. They got into that. Like they tried to compete with Madrid and tried to spend the money that Madrid did, and that's not their identity. It's never been their identity. I don't know.
You know what's annoying though is that because they're Barca, them players are gonna stay. That's what's annoying. Like you look at other teams around the world, like the only 2 teams in the world, in my opinion, that can keep someone there like for their prime is Barca and Madrid.
Yeah.
That's it. Everyone else in every other team in every other league, you're leaving at some point.
They're the two
If
biggest
Barca
teams in
and
the world,
Madrid,
right?
if Barca and Madrid come calling, you're going. You're going 100%. 100%. No one else. Even Man U, when Man U was at their peak, Ronaldo left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he did,
There's
and they were
something
still
about
good,
playing for
obviously.
Barca and Real Madrid that's like something
Yeah.
like it's like
Yeah.
something to associate your name with when they like we finish your career and be like, but I played for Barcelona or I played for Madrid. Like it's something like everyone's like
Exactly.
dreamed of because they've just been
Yeah.
so high up there for so many years.
Milan used to be like that.
I mean, all of
I'm
Italy used to
sorry.
be like that, and
I'm
like
sorry.
they
I
were
know.
just kind of.
I'm reminiscing. I'm getting emotional. Anyways, no, honestly though, PSG, I'm shocked. Like once they went up to one, Dembele. Shout out to Dembele, because we were talking about how he had all the talent in the world, but injury usually prevents him from doing what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And when they went up 2-1, I'm like, okay, they got this in the bag.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were about to pour it on,
And
and
then
my
they subbed
goodness,
on Pedri. That ball he played.
oh my gosh.
That ball he played for the second Rafinha goal was perfect, and you cannot deny how perfect that pass was.
It's annoying. It's annoying. It's annoying.
Because you tried to hit on him.
I know it's because I hate Barca,
Yeah.
but like they're getting people like I love Lamine.
Yeah.
I don't like Gabby. I'll never like Gabby, but I have a soft spot for Pedri, but I'm trying to hate on him. It's difficult. But that ball was insane.
But like,
As a soccer fan, you gotta be excited because
but
I
it's
feel like a
also, like-
lot of teams are coming around again, and like
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun few years.
Yo, I think we're gonna get back into a golden era of soccer. I feel it coming.
Well, it's all the youngsters
I
now
feel it coming.
are being
Yeah.
portrayed. Like even PSG also didn't play well, but they played youngsters too. They played Beraldo or whatever, their center back. He's 20 years old. Zaire Emery played like they had a bunch of
He
youngsters.
didn't start. I mean, he'll probably start in the second leg, I would assume.
But like, there's a bunch of young guys. I mean, you can look at Arsenal and all the other teams. Foden, like all the young guys are being the best guys on these teams right now, and which is good to see.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're seeing these teams being handed off to the new generation.
Yeah. Absolutely. Bayern Arsenal. Also, I have like maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, 25. You're good.
Bayern Arsenal. Wow.
These Champions League games this week were fantastic. All of them.
Dude, this was.
We got a good week.
Not one.
We need a petition to start them later because I work and this sucks.
Who are you telling? Thank you.
Like,
oh my!
3 o'clock. What the hell is this? Come on, you gotta think of your friends in North America. I don't care. They could give me another hour.
Soccer needs to. Okay, let me just go off on a little tangent. All soccer, the 5 major leagues, all need to be on one app.
Yeah.
Domestically and international competition. I'm tired of it and the zone full screen.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. Like 2 screens.
It's not even the domestic is on one. The FA Cup and Carabao's not even on Fubo, but the league's on Fubo. What does that? How?
Like, what are we talking about? Like, can we get some cohesion, please? Yeah. Anyways, ridiculous. I think someone's contract's ending soon. One of the two, either Fubo or
Fubo.
Oh yeah, I think it's Fubo's at the end of the year. Might be done. I don't know if they're
Fubo
Canada.
I believe Fubo.
Look, we got to get that. Europe either needs to push their games back 1 hour, or I think as a country we decide that we change our time zone to match up a little bit better. One or the other. I don't mind.
I don't think it would work like that.
I don't mind. Hey, when we were still an hour, what was it? I think we were an hour back, but Europe didn't change, and I think they were all an hour later, so it kind of worked out.
Yeah,
I was okay with that.
4 or 5 o'clock, which was okay.
I was okay with that. I finished work around then,
No, back to Bayern Arsenal.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Bayern got robbed. That was a handball, dude. I didn't think there was a penalty on Saka. I did not think that was a penalty.
No.
But Gabriel picked the ball up with his hand. Like, what are we doing? He literally picked the ball up with his hand in the box. So Bayern should have had a penalty. What are we talking about? Like,
dude, I'm surprised how much possession Arsenal had with that. I thought it would have been like back and forth. maybe a little bit like the ball would be slow in each other's zones, but I felt like the middle of the field would have just been like an absolute fast pace. Dude, I'm surprised like Arsenal went behind. I honestly thought they would come out ahead with the soccer they played against them.
Maybe I'm crazy, but I kind of feel like I'm leaning towards Bayern in the second leg, but I kind of feel like it was not a bad result for Arsenal. Like I don't think it yeah, they probably should have been in a better position to win, but I didn't think I'm surprised they tied it up. Like I thought Bayern was not maybe run away with it, but I thought Bayern would hold on and maintain the lead. But they didn't. Arsenal, Leandro Trossard. I mean, he's been clutch for them.
He's like a nice super sub. He's like a really good super sub for them.
He's kind of having. I'm not saying he's as good as Gundogan. I'm not saying that. But you remember last year when Gundogan started coming on strong late, like he was like almost single-handedly winning Man City games. Like just
super. When used to score goals.
Yeah. A picture of his face, but with the R9 haircut.
Yeah.
At the end of the season.
And I feel like Leandro Trossard's kind of having. Yes, and I'm not like it's not to that degree yet, but I feel like he's doing something similar like Gundogan was doing last.
He reminds me of like a Hernandez off the bench.
Yeah. Chicharito coming off the bench was so fun to watch.
Yeah,
I know. But I still do have
Bayern at home too. They got the upper hand.
Yes, Saliba did not play well. A and B. Leroy Sané and Gnabry, like these dudes, I love them.
Yeah,
they cannot they have no answer for these dudes. They're just running up and down the pitch like baby food. Kingsley Coman just hit the bar like that. That would have been a great goal, and he's clutch too. He shows up in big moments. Hopefully, he can get a trophy because I don't want his
suspended for the second leg.
Davies will be suspended for the second leg. And you see that first goal. That first goal that Saka scored, like he did well. Like he took the ball off of Saka, and it was just like a stupid bounce that just kind of went back to Saka, and then Saka scored. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a key matchup that could decide the second leg. Is Saka doesn't have to go up against Davies.
Yeah,
but they still have good fullbacks though, right? Like they have Sacha Boye on the right side. I'm sure you could flip.
Yeah, but it's just like the physicality and pace that Alphonso Davies has. I feel like it really helps in trying. Saka scored a goal like in the first game, but it helps try to neutralize someone that good, right, on the right hand side or left hand side of the defense. Like it's gonna be a big loss for them. I would feel like
that's 100%.
It allows for a one-on-one matchup than having to double up. But I think also Arsenal doesn't have the wing backs to contend with pacey wingers.
No,
and that's what they got Ben White. They've been playing Kiwior, but even at that, who else do they have? They got Zinchenko, who's not is good on the ball, but he's not pace, and he has not been great this season. They got Tomiyasu, who is better defensively, but again, you don't have the pace. Like they have no wing backs. Yeah. So
Sané and Gnabry absolutely need to start the next game as well. Like they need to.
They probably will.
They need to. You know what? The only problem with Leroy Sané is that the boy is not clinical. He is not clinical. If he was clinical, stop
it. He was the same thing at Man City. He was the same thing at Schalke, right? Like that's something that just held them back from being like the next level of that type of winger because he
would be world class. He can do everything. He can get you in front of the net with the ball, and he just cannot put the ball in the net in the back of the net. Well, it's so frustrating.
There was a stretch of games. He had like 4 months without a goal. Yeah, he had a stretch without a goal for 4 months. Like for a winger, that's crazy.
Yes. Leroy Sané is nice though. He's for a winger that is absolutely crazy. Last game we gotta get. So sorry, before I say that, who do you guys have winning back at the Allianz?
Healthy. Like I feel like Bayern just has that little bit of an edge, and they have the experience, which I would like kind of just lean towards them just for the experience factor. Like you got in the midfield, you got Kimmich, Goretzka, Muller. They come off the bench or whatever. Like they have that experience that they've been there. They know how to win these situations, and I feel like it might be a little bit too soon for Arsenal because they are on the come up. Like I don't feel like anyone before the season started would have expected them to make a semifinal or a final of a Champions League. So I feel like it's like the right steps to go in building up that team, but it might just be a little bit too soon.
That's fair. Yeah, and honestly, I feel like for Bayern, it's like their last opportunity to win the trophy. So it's like it's really all or nothing.
They
I
can
don't
just
think
focus.
Thomas. Yeah, they
Leverkusen
absolutely.
can clinch the league with a win this weekend, right? So it's like it's done.
Yeah,
They don't need to focus on the league, which I think is going to allow them to go far in this Champions League.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Last game,
Dude,
Man City versus
what a
Real. That shit
damn
was
game.
crazy, dude. Y'all are lucky that Tchouameni is getting suspended, though. Some bullshit. Some bullshit.
Dude, the
But
first minute.
like, it's so crazy. That game was wild. That game was absolutely wild. Also, Vinny Jr. is clutch. Like, I read a stat. He's assisted or scored a goal in 92% of the knockout games he's played.
Wow.
That's insane.
Can we just
That's
talk
a
about
big game
screamers
player.
though? How many fucking screamers were there in this game?
Guvardio, Fede
Guardiola,
Valverde.
was
Foden,
insane.
Valverde.
And that's his best moment of the season because he hasn't. To me, he has not been
But
what he's been built up to be.
not only
Coming
that,
to Man City.
he took a
I
terrible first
I
touch
expected it. Give him a year.
But like on that
Give
goal,
him a year to adjust his system.
he took a terrible first touch. You saw him have to sprint up to that ball before the Madrid midfielder would have got there
Yeah.
before him, and just cannoned it top bin. Yeah. Like that was like a one in a, like I don't think he can recreate that shot he took.
No, but also like you see, like Bernardo Silva's free kick, like that's one that Lunin needs back. Like that's on Lunin. Like he should have.
Yeah.
He looked like he was A, expecting a deflection, or B, was like, how did the ball get here? Because the ball was like, it went past the defenders and he still didn't move yet. Like it was like his reaction time was just off.
Yeah, but I think it just caught him off guard. Like the wall was misplaced. Yeah. Bernardo said, "Fuck it, I'm going for it. It's right there." So like, I get it. He was completely caught off guard. But I mean, on the other side too, you had like a Diaz own goal deflection. The goal for Rodrigo was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, you know what I mean? So like 3 of those goals were like, and then the other 3 were just straight bangers, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, Valverde.
I think honestly,
so unexpected.
I don't think this is a good thing for Real.
No,
now you got to go back
to the
Etihad. They needed that win badly, and you draw 3-3. Like I'll be shocked if they go into the Etihad and pull off a win. I really will.
It's not like the Etihad has like a great atmosphere to them, right?
It's not that they have a great atmosphere. That Real's
in the
never
Etihad
beaten them
in years.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Yeah, Real has not beaten them at the Etihad.
But it's not like going to like Dortmund Stadium or
no,
what intimidates you is like the fans and the experience.
No, for sure.
It's just like Man City's just dominant on their home turf.
Yes,
like, that's just
but you got to also factor in like. Kevin De Bruyne is probably going to be starting in that lineup.
He's not gonna have the shit.
Maybe Kyle Walker may be back, right? Like those are factors like where you needed to. But that I know I said
not a huge blow,
honestly, it's not a huge blow because their midfield is stacked. Like the midfield is stacked. Even if he's not there, you have a Modric, you have a Cruz, you have a Camavinga that can do exactly what
he was playing center back.
Who?
Tchouameni was playing center back that game.
Oh yeah, but Militao, Rudiger, like Militao he's back in the lineup. Like he'll probably be ready to go.
Yeah, he'll probably replace Tchouameni in that game.
Rudiger has one job. I don't think he plays.
Yeah, Rudiger is just follow Haaland wherever he goes.
Bro, I saw one thing where the ball was in Man City's box, and Haaland started sprinting back up the field, and you just see Rudiger lock eyes with him and just gun it, and just you see him pass Haaland. It's like, no, you're not going anywhere.
That is only his job.
Yeah, he has one job, and it's just follow Haaland around, which I think is a good thing for Man City because you take away a center back. Like you just neutralize one defender because he's focused.
That's what I was gonna get at because that's what I was gonna get at because Haaland, everyone was like, this guy's a pylon. He's doing absolutely nothing. Big game didn't show up. And it's like a little bit that is true. I'm not gonna disagree with it, but the fact that he's Haaland neutralizes the whole center back and it allows the gaps to open. Right? If you have one center back, he's like, your job is Haaland. That allows so much room for other players. That allows a lot more room for dummy runs.
Phil Foden or Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne to just create more space and attack those, like you said, attack those gaps. But if there's anyone that can figure it out,
Ancelotti,
Don Carlo, baby. I don't think I would be shocked if they get slapped up like they did last year. Like I don't expect that at all. I definitely think it'll be closer than last year's second leg. But I mean, it really just It depends. Like I don't know because last year was embarrassing. Like it was really embarrassing what they did
Yeah.
to Real Madrid.
I think every game is close this year. Like it's really like
Mhm.
a lot of the teams. I think look, home teams are always advantage, but I think every team that is going home for the second leg is in an amazing spot. Like
Yeah,
right,
you're always in the driver's seat.
2-2 Bayern going home, 3-3 Man City you're going home, 2-1 Atletico you are going away. So that's the only downside for that. But then you have 3-2 Barcelona going home, right? Like all these home teams are in the perfect position.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think on Real's side, I don't know who, someone's gonna need to have like what's the word I'm looking for?
Not a
Like
miracle, but you need
no,
a
not a miracle. They're gonna have to have a game that's gonna be spoken about 10 years from now. Like that's the type of game that a Vinny, a Rodrigo,
Jude.
a Valverde, a Jude.
Jude
Like
needs to
Jude did
show
not
up.
play well.
Jude didn't show up. There was a big
No,
thing throughout the week, like the
you
Champions
know
League
what?
this
I
week.
totally
The big
forgot bro
guys
was on
didn't
the
play
team.
well.
I forgot he was on the team because he did not do anything. I literally forgot about Jude Bellingham because he did not do a damn thing.
But
I
that was
love him though. I love him,
but that was like
but
a
he got to
common
show up.
theme with like all the games. This like the big guys didn't really show up. Like Haaland didn't show
No,
up.
Jude
Mbappe
didn't
didn't.
show up.
Jude didn't show up. Mbappe didn't show up. Like there was just throughout the week. It
Phil
was like
Foden showed up.
he
And
did.
that answers your all question we asked last week.
We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that second. But I just think Real. I think they're gonna need like a Superman performance by
Yeah,
one
they
of
do.
these dudes. You know what I
It
mean?
has to
A
be
two
Jude.
goals, a goal and
I
assist.
think Jude needs to.
I don't think it matters who. I just
But
think they need
someone.
because Rodrigo can come in and just bang 2 goals easy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like Rodrigo, or maybe it'll
Oh, he
be
did it. He did a couple years ago.
Brahim Diaz.
I don't even think he
Brahim
starts,
Diaz.
but
Okay, I don't. He could super sub, dude. Super sub. Come on,
yeah,
and he
maybe.
I
can
just
create a
feel like
moment of
Jude can
magic.
be that force multiplier for them because like
Of course.
he's so special that he needs.
But you see, the same impact that Haaland has in taking away a center back. I'm not saying that the center back on
Yeah.
whoever's playing center back for Man City needs to stick on to Jude, but Jude needs to be, like you said, a force multiplier to the point where he's taking away a defender to open up gaps for the Real side of things, right?
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
would help with Vinny and like his overlapping runs because he does have the
Yes.
pace, and if you're able to draw in that defender to let Vinny run
Yeah.
in free, but
But
then again, you need Jude to be on the ball for that to happen.
if Kyle Walker's out there, they got no answer. Like Vinny's gonna
No,
do
we
what he
don't have
wants.
the pace. We don't have the pace.
None. It's like Arsenal trying to defend Leroy and Gnabry.
Well, no,
Like,
you can't start Gvardiol on the right back position. Like
man,
that's
he's
the
not finna
matchup.
do nothing. He's
Like
not gonna do nothing.
No, he always starts on the left anyways.
oh, it's left back. Okay,
He
who
plays left
plays right
back.
back? That's who's your
It
sub right
was
back? Is it Ake? No, Ake also played on the left.
no. I think they put a
Bro,
cat.
Pep be putting dudes any Akanji hasn't Akanji been on the right side?
Yeah,
No,
I think it was a
oh,
cat. Dude, he turned John Stone into a CDM, so
but he was great. He was great at that role.
he was fantastic. He
He
was
was.
one of the best players
He
in
was.
that Inter game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was a Kanji that was on the right.
I think it was Akanji.
All right.
Yeah, it was a
Um,
Kanji on the right.
going back
Ederson's
to our
coming back
question.
though. Sorry, but Ederson is coming back.
That's a big comeback. That's a big comeback. I think it's gonna be interesting because given how both played in the Champions League this week,
Mm-hmm.
our question from last week, I think it was last week, right?
Yeah, it was.
Who's the better player, Bukayo Saka or Phil
Phil
Foden?
Foden.
Now, you guys answer. I know. I already know one. We already know one person that's gonna say Saka, and he doesn't even need to be named at this point. We know who he is.
Sorry.
Comment who you think is better. Hell, comment who you think will be better in the future.
That could be a whole different conversation, right?
That could be a whole different conversation for sure. I don't know. Honestly, you guys answer first. I
I'm
don't know
still
yet.
leaning to
I
Phil
don't know yet.
Foden. Just
Phil Foden.
I just feel like when a guy can play down the middle, you can have such a bigger impact because you're not waiting for the ball to get to you as often, right? For a winger, you could making your runs, you can do things, but if you don't get the ball, there's not much output, right? Whereas Foden, you can
But
see what he does. Like, he takes the ball, he can create, and it's different. I don't know. For me,
but
if
the
I
thing is
wanted
that
a guy, I'd want Phil Foden to be in that middle that would be able to control things.
my problem is that I would like to see Saka with a team that has almost like world class guys at every position, right?
Yeah.
Like he hasn't played with a world class striker.
No.
I love Martinelli, but Martinelli he's a good player. He's nowhere near world class.
No.
Like him and Odegaard and Saliba are like the only world class dudes on the team, whereas Man City got world class guys left and right. So I
One in
think
every
that's
position.
my only.
Yeah.
That's my. I think I'm going to be straight up with you. I need to see how the season plays out. If Arsenal win the league, I'm going to say that Saka's better than Foden.
But okay,
Because if he can elevate that team to a, because put it this way, who do you think would do better if you switched their if they switched
But
teams?
it's different because
Foden.
Arsenal does have Odegaard, right, and who's playing that position right now.
Yeah, but you could put Phil
But
on the left.
I'll say
Yeah, but
this though.
he's not as good as the wing, and we saw that the last couple of years, which is how we
But,
lost.
but Phil is better than Odegaard to me. Like he would.
Yeah.
Well, Phil's
Different
Phil's
players, but
Yeah.
also I agree.
But
But like, look, I say Foden, unbiasedly as well. I will say unbiasedly. I do believe Phil Foden's
Get
better.
your ass out of here, unbiased.
Yeah.
You full of shit.
But like, I hear what Barry's saying. But I actually do slightly disagree in that sense of like the middle. I think the way the game has gone now, being it so positionless, and I think also it heavily leaning on wingers recently, that him being a winger isn't isn't a knock on him, right? It's actually a benefit towards him because I find the game has revolved a lot around wingers. So I actually disagree with you on that. At the end, I still think Foden's better. I think the versatility is better. Like he can. Look, Saka started his career, I think, as a right back. But the thing is,
left back.
Left back.
Wasn't it?
He was a fullback.
One of the wing backs. But the thing is, he cannot play that now. Like, you know what I mean? Like the versatility in that sense is gone for him. He's a right wing, right mid. He could help out on defense, but he's not a wing back anymore.
If the situation called for it, he could. But he's never called for it, right? Like,
but the thing is, Phil Foden, you could put him on the left. You could put him on the right. You could put him in the middle. The situation is called for him as a striker when we had no Haaland, and he's able to do this. So I think
you have the benefit of being able to do that because there's world class guys that can play so many different positions. Arsenal, if he's not on the wing, they're not producing.
No.
That's the problem. The problem is that Foden can have guys that can still produce, even if he's not doing shit. Julian Alvarez can come on and bang a hat trick like nothing, right? Like if Saka's not on the so I don't think that he
has
can't
a
play
greater
fullback.
Importance to his team. I agree with that, but that's also because of let's be honest, you could see it in two ways. You could see in the sense of he's a better impact for his team, but also he was with a team that didn't have much, so like no wonder it revolves around him. He also needs to be a great player for him to revolve. But he needs to play in and out. He's constant game time. He's a constant target man. He's a constant head of his team. You could take that in two ways, in the sense of that's what makes him better, or also that's what allows him to have this ability, right? Phil Foden came through the academy and didn't get much playing time because of all the All-Stars, right? So he's fighting for that playing time, and at this age, with like. He's on a team with world-class players, and this is his team now. It's going from De Bruyne, which I think it already has. De Bruyne's kind of not at the tail end, is at the tail end-ish of his career. Yeah. He is still De Bruyne, but it's past the Foden. Saka had that forever. You know what I mean? And that's not a knock on him being great. Like, you need to be great for him to pass a team. But for the fact that Foden, at this age, was able to get into this team with less experience and providing to this much, he has the most goals outside the box this year. I think he has most goals from the middle without having penalties, something like that. I forget what it was exactly. And I think the versatility around, I think he's also a better leader. You see him versus Saka on the pitch. I think Saka goes there and plays soccer. Saka's not. Odegaard's the captain. Yes, we have De Bruyne, Diaz, who's the captain, but when you see Phil Foden, you can see he is going to be the captain. You can see this is his team right? When you look at Arsenal, I don't see it as this is. I think Saka is the best player. I don't see it as Saka's team. I see it as Arsenal.
I think maybe that also has something to do with, not having maybe as much veteran leadership. Man City has veterans littered in the locker room, whereas Arsenal, not like, they added a Zinchenko and a Gabriel Jesus like recently.
And a Jorginho.
Yeah, a Jorginho, but those guys weren't there when Saka was on the come up, right? So it's it's a little bit different. I think that could also play a factor. But for me, I think I'm gonna have to hold out until the season ends to see how I feel about it.
And I feel like also with like the emergence of Foden, I feel like this could make KDB's career a bit longer. I feel like now he can kind of transition into a deep line playmaker now. Like, like what we saw with like Gerrard at the end of his career, right? Gerrard for so long was an attacking midfielder through and through, and then as he got older, as his legs went away, like he was more of a defensive, like not defensive as he could be because he was never that type of guy, but like more of like a deep line playmaker where you can still create just from a little bit further back so you can expend less energy. Because I think KDB's hamstring injuries are going to be something for the rest of his career now.
Yeah.
It's
now Foden allows him to rest. Well, to be fair though, like De Bruyne said in the interview too, he's like, I don't see why me and Foden can play together, which is jokes because every time one plays, the other one doesn't, or the one plays complete. Like just play both of them in the middle. Anyways, different topic.
Only one.
But I mean, even if Arsenal wins it, I think it's a absolute massive accomplishment for Saka. And look, they do not have a bad team in any way. Are they like an absolute world-class team? No. But you also look Foden also has all the trophies to his name already.
Yeah, but that's because
that's not fair.
World-class team. Like
you could even knock some of them out, but you know what I mean? Like a year ago was the conversation extremely different, and that he got a treble that year, and he played a major part in it. Like I understand it's different.
But that goes back to like if they switch, like if you put Saka in for Foden last year, like they're still winning the treble.
No, that's what I was about to say. I understand that it wasn't his team then, so I think the years now and onwards are a different story because
he also didn't start.
It's kind of their teams in a way, like they're the top players of their team. But the thing is, let's say Arsenal wins the trophy, and then City wins the Champions. Like, you know what I mean?
I think it kind of really helped them that they started playing him more down the middle because you saw it last season where Grealish took a lot of those minutes for him, right? And now Grealish is the guy stuck on the bench.
Which I disagree with, but anyways. I mean, I think Grealish is amazing on the left.
Yeah, but it's like you can only put 11 guys. Like, you can only put so many guys on the field, right? And like,
well, it calls for a different game plan. Look, Grealish is amazing at holding up the ball and everything. Exactly. And Doku's just good at running you down. Yeah, so whatever you need. Anyways.
Okay, I got a dip, but that's episode 9 of Unmatched. Like, comment, subscribe, banter with us. Express your opinion. We want to hear your views. Who's better, Phil Foden or Bukayo Saka? We'll be back next week, and we will be ready for the Champions League semifinals.
Episode 10 next week.
Can't wait.